Well, hi everybody and welcome back. Well, we've had a slight change of platform plan. I'm now building my own. Sadly, the Metcalf platforms that I was building decided to, well, bow quite a lot. And the bow became so much that I actually took it out to the cabin and I thought I'm really going to have trouble getting these stuck down. So I was back to the drawing board and I'm using some slightly more robust materials for the platforms now, and I'm making them from scratch. It's perhaps something that I should have done in the first place, to be fair, but anyway. So what I'm doing is, as you can see, the platform sides are setting as we speak. I haven't glued the sloped end yet because I'm waiting for this side to set. So I've used Scalzine's brown brick and basically I've cut out quite a few pieces of cardboard, covered them with the Scalzine's brick, and it's like a builder's yard really, this bit. And these little tiny strips of 2mm length are the pieces that go just at the top of the bricked side of the platform. So if I walk you around here, this will be stuck to the top here, because as a lot of you will know, there's like a little ledge underneath the lip, and that's what I'm trying to create with that. And so I cut loads of 2mm strips out and painted them up in a similar colour. Once everything's weathered up, it shouldn't be too much of a bother. But yeah, so that's where we are. It's taken me quite a few extra days to do this, but to be honest with you, I quite enjoy it. So like I say, I'm a little bit gutted that the Metcalf platforms didn't work out. I've got them down there on the floor at the moment. I was using them for measurements, and believe me, as I went further and further into them, they were bowing and bowing, and which led me to take them out to the cabin to try and do a test fit. But you know, I think I would always have trouble with them, and I thought I'd rather not do that. So what I'm doing is actually making everything the separate components, because I was trying to make it as all one piece. So I had the end piece and the 3 platforms coming down. Well, I'm going to make the platforms all separate so that I can fit them in, and then we can fit the end piece on, and then the side piece for the station building on once the platforms are in the correct position. So that's where I am with that. Obviously that's put me a bit behind to where I was with the track laying, because I want the actual platforms to be in there so that I can lay the track properly round them. So that's what we're doing, and I shall catch up with you at some point soon. Right, okay, so I thought I'd just show you, or share with you, the way that I've been doing these platforms. Now, as you'd have seen previously, I've covered all these strips in brick paper, and all I'm going to do now is glue these on. Pretty simple. This is the platform end, obviously, because of the sloping end. So what I'll do with that is I'll just match it up. I've scored this just here. I've got a little scoring tool that I've got to help me bend the, I guess this is mounting board, the white stuff you would call it. I get it from the range. It used to be 3 sheets for a tenner, but I don't think it is that anymore. But anyway, so yeah, all I do is I just sort of match up where it starts sloping down to the part where I've got it scored, and we'll just glue that in. So get me a little glue applicator, and just run a score of glue along there. My shaky hand. Just make sure you get some glue on there, because this has got to stay glued for a long time. So when we get to these points here, just make sure there's plenty of glue up against the edge. This is a bit of a pain in the bum for me doing this, because I have what's called tension in the arm. So when I squeeze on the glue tube, it makes my hand shake. And my hands don't actually shake in real life, only when I'm doing something like this. But anyway, enough of that. Doesn't stop me doing anything. Keep gluing. I think we'll glue up to about there. I think that covers us up to about here. Just make sure there's a spot of glue over everything. And all it is a matter of just sticking it on. Okay, and you'll be surprised once this is finished, as you can maybe see by the other side, how quite strong this is. So there we go, we just pull that in, and to try and get the lines pretty straight, I've drawn a 2mm line in there, but what I've been doing is just getting my square and just getting it so that we get the right sort of angle. Now the ends will need holding down for 10 or 15 seconds generally. The engineer square, and we can get that one in there. Hopefully you're getting all this. I can't check what I'm actually videoing in from here, but there. So if I just hold that down and hold that end down, I generally just run my fingernail along there just to get that little edge. So there we go. It's pretty simple, and I'll come back to you shortly. Right, so this next piece is just, I've already pre-glued along the edge, and now, I don't know whether you can see that. Where are we? See the shadow. Right, so basically all I'm doing is gluing the end of the platform edge, and that I just slide into there very carefully. And just do that. Again, I'll get my two. Oh, faster. Well, it's not really. Just get that back in place. There we go. It's not the first time that's happened. Okay, so square in there, get that about right. I'll just usually just eye it so that I can see there is that line, and I try and get it roughly on that line. So there we go with that, and then just pull that end in place, although it's probably out of shot for you. And kind of that's how I do it. Now the gaps where my fingers are here, I may cover those over with another little piece of brick paper, just to give the impression that that piece has been bricked up, but we'll see how that goes, because actually, I mean, from eye, and on all the platforms that I've done so far, that looks pretty good and pretty tight on all of them. So I probably don't really need to do that, but we'll see how we go. But what I'm going to do now is complete the edging on this platform, and then you'll come back and I'll just show you it, or I'll show you one that's complete anyway, and we'll do that. Okay, so I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, as you will see, that is now all done, that side. Well, from start to finish, I guess that takes nearly 20 minutes to do all of that, 25 minutes max. But what we're going to do now is actually fit the little platform ledges in. This is one of those there, and that will just fit. I can't really do it while I'm doing this, but that will just fit underneath the lip of the platform and give it that ledge, and that kind of finishes that off. So basically a couple of other little things that I do just to strengthen it up even more. So each piece of mounting card, where there's a split underneath, I'll put another piece of card in there, and where the two platform edges join, if it's not behind one of these, I'll add another piece of strengthening mounting board. That's happening just down there as well. So yeah, it's coming together now, and like I say, I'm just going to put the ledges on, and then that will be kind of complete in terms of construction. The only part I've got to finish now are the end of the platform, the block that sits at the end of the platform, but I'll do that, and then I'm going to paint the tops after that, and we'll take it from there. Right, okay, just before I show you the new platforms, these are the old ones, and as you can see, I just wanted to show you with the bow in there. Now that is really difficult to press that down, and to me, I thought if I continue with that, that's going to be a real pain in the backside getting that sorted on the layout to get it to stick properly. I could probably do it with a hot glue gun, I guess, but the trouble is there's a twist in this as well. I don't know whether this will come out on the camera, but it's pretty hard to stick down, and the ends of the platforms are all curling up as well, and it's quite a significant curl, and to hold them down would be, I wouldn't say impossible, but I just wasn't happy, and I think, you know, another lesson learned, and I can see now here, on here, although it won't come out on the camera, there is a hump there, and you can see by just pressing that down, and I just think it would look not quite right, so that's why that got abandoned. It was a shame, but again, a lesson learnt, and I think when I come to make my platforms in the future for the other stations on the layout, they'll be done in the same way that I've just done these. So I'll come back to you in a second and I'll show you where we're at. So this is where we're at, and I'm very much happier with these platforms. They're far more solid, and there's no bowing at all. The block that the station building on, if you remember rightly, I've got a kit for that I ordered from Germany, and we're going to anglicise it, will sit on there. I haven't put any brick around the edges of this because I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with that yet, but there'll be obviously some steps coming down there from the station, and it may need changing slightly to accommodate the station, but that is the footprint size of the station building. I'm going to have it there. I've introduced another point on the layout which will bring a train up on this platform, so that will be platform 6, I believe, and that will run up into there, and I'm going to have that as like the parcels, newspapers, all that kind of thing for the ready to be taken away on the ships. It'll also accommodate obviously some local traffic. I'm not sure whether that'll accommodate my Pullman, but I think the Pullman will go on the far platform anyway. Well, you could go on any platform. But yeah, so these are so much more rigid, and they lay flat because they're heavier. Now, I think I mentioned it in a previous segment that the tops are made out of, I think it's mounting board that I buy from the range, and it did used to be £10 for 3 A3 sheets, but I think that's a bit more money now. but it's very worthwhile because it's good and robust. Now what I'm going to do with this now is actually paint it, whereas before, if we look back down here, I used the tarmac sheets, and to be honest I like the tarmac sheets, but it's quite hard work. But what I am going to do is use the platform edging, and I'll paint all the platform first and then we'll stick down the platform edging. But yeah, I like that tarmac paper, and I think in another circumstance, in different situations, that will be used on the layout, most certainly. But yeah, so coming back up here just to finish it off. So I'll come back after another little while, mix up some paint, and obviously cover the table, otherwise Mrs. Exehaven won't be very happy at all, and and we'll go from there. I'm in the stages now of starting to think about moving everything back out to the cabin for Christmas. So this will be probably my last video before Christmas. There may be another one, but we'll see. But I doubt it. Now we've got a lot going on, and but that's where we've got. Okay, so I'll come back to you shortly, and hopefully we can finish it up and finish this video up. Right, so there we go. This is where I'm going to leave it for this episode, because this is going to go on and on and on. And it's just about platforms. Oh my goodness. They look very good. I mixed up some black and white paint, and I wanted a slightly darker grey, and that is very dark, I've got to say. Perhaps I would have liked it a little bit lighter, but I did put a lot of white in and it wasn't going any better. But having said that, when that's weathered up, I think it's the concrete dust that the WWS do in their range of weathering powders that will make that look good. As long as I don't go too mad with it, that's going to look terrific. But I've got to put all the platform edging on yet, which is a bit of a little job on its own, and that'll take a while to cut them out and stick them down. I've also got to probably paint just the edges of the platforms white, although there will be a white edging on the platform edging paper sheets from scale scenes, but I just perhaps want to do that, and we'll have a look at that. Okay, so that's where we're at, and I'll come back to you for one last piece just before we go. And yeah, that's really changed the appearance. It's looking good to me now. Okay, so see you in a bit. Right, well, there we go. That's kind of it for me for now until Christmas. I won't be getting another video out, I don't think, for next week. I've got too much to do. I've got to clear this place up for a start. Mrs. Exehaven's starting to get a bit twitchy, and you know, it is getting close to Christmas, so she'll be finishing next week from school, and that's when my feet don't touch the ground again. But anyway, you know, all I want to do is just wrap this up and say thanks for watching this episode. Maybe not as interesting as everything we've done before. Bit of a momentous year in many respects this year. What with me making that decision just to take up the old layout, I wasn't happy with it. If I'd have gone on with it and would have, I'd have probably put up with it, obviously, but it just wasn't working for me. So hopefully this new track plan that I've got in my head is going to work. It's going to look visually really good, and it's a slow kick-off, to be fair. I had to go out there the other day. I was going to do some more track laying the other day, and I had to rethink the layout for the station, for Exehaven Harbour station, in terms of the track. So I stood out there with a cup of tea for a good hour, mulling it over. Sussed it out now, but didn't get anywhere. But the other thing that I want to do is obviously get these platforms done, and I can actually put them in place so that I know that I've got the tracks lined up absolutely spot on. So So that's where we're at with that. So hopefully in the new year we can get really cracking on with it. I just want to thank everybody for all the support this year. We're well over 1,000 subscribers now, which is great. You know, can't believe it really, but it's excellent. So that's great. Thank you to all of the people that always give me supports and comments. You know, and if you are new to the channel or if you've never commented before, please, I'd be really happy to hear from you. It's really good that you do, and you know, hit the old like button. I don't know quite what that does in the algorithms, but supposedly it helps. So that's kind of where we're at. It was great. Oh, got to remember this. It was lovely to meet up with lots of you at Gets this year. I'm not going to name everybody, or I'm not going to name anybody. But everybody that I did meet, it was fantastic. The only one that I will say hello to, Kevin. You know, we've become really good pals, and that's really nice. And actually Lee Wall, and I said that I wasn't going to mention everybody, really got on well with Lee. Spent a lot of time with him at Gets, and you know, I spent the whole day with Kev really. He's probably fed up with me now, but it is really lovely to meet you all and make some of the acquaintances. You know, it's great chatting through the comments and all this sort of stuff, and I have occasional phone calls with people, but it is really good to meet. And so really, on that note, that's it. I'll probably put another video out maybe for the new year, but it depends how many people we have around. I know we've got a lot of people around, so that's it. So thank you everybody, and cheers. Merry Christmas. Ooh.